Hughes.
Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. Well, whilst the Labor left will be patting themselves on the back all around as they've succeeded in their push on behalf of Palestinians and further continued the denigration of Israel, there'll be at least one name that won't rate a mention. In fact, these activists have either deliberately chosen to ignore or, worse, denied its existence. Abu Murkaye. Mr Murkaye, a 25-year-old Palestinian man, was shown in a grisly video that saw him being beheaded by an unidentified assailant. The suspect was arrested and questioned, a Palestinian who committed a horrific murder that had been motivated by Abu Murkaye's sexual identity. And this happened in October 2022, less than 12 months ago. Those in government, they're the champions of LGBT rights, if you listen to them, but clearly not when it comes to Palestine. In fact, homosexuality remains so deeply shunned in the Palestinian society that in 2019 there was an Arab Barometer poll that found that only 5% of West Bank Palestinian respondents said society should tolerate homosexuality. In fact, the lowest number in the Arab world. So instead of supporting Israel, the place that many gay Palestinians flee to in genuine fear of their lives if they remain in Palestine territories, it's Tel Aviv in Israel that hosts a large pride event. But they ignore this fact as they continue their left-wing crusade. And we only saw this week Minister Wong trying to tie gender equality values on our Pacific neighbours if they want to receive Australian aid. But clearly the same rules don't apply when it comes to the Palestinians. There is a very broad global will that a two-state solution can be reached. But now, before that can happen, before those who actually live in Israel are affected every day by this issue, well, there's no need to worry, because the ALP caucus has been able to draw up lines on a map to determine where borders can be. The ALP caucus has now settled the dispute, all while settling its own internal factional disputes. Just this year, Minister Wong claimed in Senate estimates that we do not support unilateral actions which reduce the prospects of a just two-state solution. Well, clearly that was misinformation. When it comes to trying to calm the factional farm over AUKUS, with around 40 ALP branches about to oppose it at the National Conference, clearly this is a government that is happy to throw Israel under the bus. And, I'd just like to draw attention, because I noticed that no one from the left of the Labor Party would come in and speak to this, and in fact that it's had to have two right ALP members who are known to have strong connections to Israel, and Senator O'Neill, I do credit you with being the Deputy Co-Chair of the Parliamentary Friends of Israel and the work that you do there, and I know Senator Coney has just returned. But we did hear the interjections from other senators coming from that side of the chamber. And, of course, we heard the disgraceful contribution by the Greens. I mean, the fact that they talk about human rights abuses. Well, may I just remind the Greens of Abu Murkaye and what happened to him simply for being gay. But, of course, those up there that'll scream the loudest about supporting LGBT, but not if you're a Palestinian, if you're a gay Palestinian person that flees to Israel to escape persecution, you still refer to Israel somehow being an apartheid state. Well, you might want to go talk to some gay Palestinians and see how they feel about their treatment by their own people. But considering, coming back to the ALP's decision, considering what the Australian Israel and Jewish Affairs Council has referred to by Labor as profoundly disappointing, and the Australian Jewish Association described this move by Labor as hostile, we know that there wasn't consultation there. So now this Labor government needs to be upfront and tell the Australian people, and particularly Jewish Australians, if they consulted the Israeli government or the ambassador. Though we did learn today the department, not the minister, made a call to the Israeli ambassador. And who in the Palestinian authorities were consulted? When and where and whose bidding are they doing?